Are your neighbours too close for comfort? Coming up on SCMP Property.
You can actually sue the agent.
If it's outside your space, you will only really have the use of it.
In our city of 7 million people, it can be hard to find a little bit of space all to yourself. So when you do find a flat with the added bonus of a balcony, no matter how small or large, most of us are extremely proud of our little spot of fresh air. So what happens when you find out that the balcony isn't yours? It belongs to everyone? This is what happened to one flat buyer just after he paid a deposit for a new flat. He writes, "I'm in the middle of completing the sale of a relatively new flat, and the agent led me to believe that a small balcony was part of the unit. But according to my solicitors, it is officially communal, even though it's sectioned off. I've been told I will lose my deposit if I pull out now. What do I do?" There are a couple of issues here. First of all, his balcony could become yet another crowded area instead of his haven of solitude. Then there's the money. If he backs out of this tight spot, he could lose his hard-earned cash. We now turn to the experts, and the first order of business is to find out who provided the incorrect information about the balcony.
You are right that if you were to wrongfully refuse to complete the contract, you may not only lose your deposit, you may even be exposed to further damages. But if you could establish that the agent that made the representation to you were the agent representing the seller, then you may have a good reason for lawfully refusing to complete, get the contract rescinded and get your deposit back.
If your agent is responsible, you might consider getting your lawyer to go after them.
Well, if you really lose your deposit by pulling out of that transaction, then I would very much advise you to refer this case to your solicitor. And I think initially the solicitor will check the agreement in terms of the agency appointment. And if the agent under the agreement has actually misrepresented the ownership of that communal part, then I think at the end of the day you can actually sue the agent under the appointment agreement, and hopefully you can recover the losses you have incurred in pulling out of this transaction.
Of course, you could be practical. If no one else has access to the balcony, whether it's legally yours or not, why make a fuss about it?
However, you might be pragmatic to say, if it is a balcony, that really, if it's outside your space, you will only really have the use of it. You might be pragmatic enough to say, I don't believe it's going to be used by other parties.
But hang on a minute. This really is going to a lot of trouble just to keep your neighbours at bay. Why not invite them round? You never know who could be living on the other side of that wall. Or maybe not.